Hey everyone, what's going on? Joey Contino here, and we're roughly about 24 hours until former President Donald Trump is expected to come to the island. And I've been getting so many questions about what is it like down here? What does the boardwalk look like? What is everyone doing? What's the atmosphere? So I figured, let's go ahead and do a quick video. We did this the last time we came, so I figured we're gonna do one for this one. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe, you turn on notifications, and you give this video a thumbs up. We are trying to hit 100,000 subscribers, and we're only about 10,000 away. A special thank you out to my patrons on patreon.com. Because of them, we can kind of film a video like this on a random Friday. If you want to go ahead and support this channel and have your name at the end of the video, all you have to do is click the links in the description below. Anyway, let's get started. A lot of people don't understand that usually the weekends kind of leading up to Memorial Day weekend, a lot of the businesses down here are pushing to get things done, and they do it over the next few weekends. But because this is such a big event, so many people are coming down, a lot of business owners are actually rushing to get things completed in time so they could be open for this weekend. For example, the Honky Tonk, they weren't supposed to be open for another week, but because of this, they're like, hey, we're moving our grand opening to today. And a couple other businesses are also getting their doors open so that they're ready for today. The way that this event is being set up is very similar to the Barefoot Country Music Festival. It's taking place between Schellenger Avenue and Spicer Avenue. And so everything that we usually see for that, we're seeing now. It's kind of happening just a little bit sooner than later. We've got a lot of trucks. We've got first responders out already, getting things up, being there just in case if they're needed for anything. And we just see a lot of just equipment kind of moving back and forth, whether it's vendors or here, you have the fire chief going back and forth, just making sure that everything is okay. One thing that I did notice very recently is the fact that last time he came, there were flags everywhere, there were a lot of banners, there was a lot of businesses that actually had his name on their signs, and they're not doing that right now. I think it's mostly because since we're in the summer season, or getting into the summer season, businesses have to start preparing for that, versus when he came in January of 2020, businesses weren't open, so they were able to do stuff like that. When it comes to parking and street closures, there are a few things you need to go over. Right now, we're on Atlantic Avenue, okay? This is Schellenger Avenue right behind me, and heading that way to Spicer Avenue, those streets heading east will all be closed off tomorrow. Completely closed off. You cannot get over there. If you want to park, there are parking lots nearby. You could park at some of those places. They're charging $100, others $250. Yes, it's going to cost a lot of money, and the meters are on, okay? They started them a week earlier. Now, if you're taking an Uber, it's a little bit different. Here at Cedar Avenue, you can see the sign over here. This is the designated drop-off area for Lyft and for Uber. You can see the sign right here. It'll change in a second. Passenger drop-off and pickup only, and you'll make your way up this ramp right over here. These guys are coming down. So yes, that means when you get dropped off over here, you have to walk all the way down to Spicer Avenue to get to one or two of those entrances down there. For now, let's head up on the boardwalk. It is starting to rain a little bit, so I apologize in advance. But up here, you're going to notice a very similar setup to the Barefoot Country Music Festival. You'll see, you can see some of the fencing straight ahead. These are the fences that I'm referring to. And they almost seem taller than the Barefoot Country Music ones, but it goes the entire length between Mariners and Adventure Pier. They're going to put this scrim in front of it. They already did the other end, which I'll show you in a second, but pretty much it's the same thing that Barefoot has, except this one is blue, the other one was green, and it's going to go the entire length down. As we're walking down, you can actually see a lot of the stuff they installed on the beach. You see, it looks like straight ahead, those are the bleachers that are usually out there. They just kind of move them off to the side, which leads us to believe that the main stage will probably be somewhere right there in the middle, which more than likely, you see the white tent out there, it's probably like the either VIP section or where Trump comes in, they'll be in there before then taking him out on stage. Now we're going to continue walking down the boardwalk. There's definitely something very different than last time. Last time, all these stores all had Trump stuff, going the entire way, flags, hats, t-shirts. We're not really seeing that this time around, at least not yet. Once again, tomorrow, it could be a whole other day. Here's another look of the tents and the bleachers. It really doesn't look like there's going to be a lot of people being able to sit. This is at Lincoln Avenue. I know people are asking, but where are you going to be able to enter to get into the event? And that's all the way down that way. Remember that during Barefoot Country Music Festival, they had, I think at their max, like 36,000 people, which means we could probably get about 30,000 people on the beach. But I want you to think about this for a second here. Usually Barefoot's right here. This event is at that blue tarp back there. So it looks like they're probably only going to get maybe 20,000 within there, but then again, it depends on the standing room area. The way that this kind of looks is that you're going to have one end where the bleachers are and where the former president will be, and it almost looks like this area with the blue tarp either is going to be vendors or standing room only. Here you can see where the end of the bleachers are. We're assuming the stage is right here in the middle, and you could probably fit, you could probably fit at least 20,000 within there if you get all that space. Well, I know there's a lot of questions about tickets. When you signed up on Trump's website, you may have gotten a text message. Well, by now you should have gotten an email saying that you're on the list. Ultimately, what's going to happen is when you show up, you're going to say your name, they're going to pull it up in the system, and you're kind of good to go. They, from the looks of it, didn't really put a cap on how many people can request, because you can have hundreds of thousands of people actually request and only have X amount of thousand actually show up. So they just kind of, that's their way of just doing it. And I know because people are saying, like, I only put my name and this name, and how can I show it, and blah, blah, blah. Well, once again, it's kind of one of those things where just show up. If your name's on there, you're good to go. And these are some of the shops, once again, moving down. This is actually the first store we actually see some Trump stuff. You get a Wildwood one. Making America Great Again on the beach, May 11th, 2024. That might actually be the only stand up here that actually has some stuff there. But all that being said, we're going to continue our tour down. We're getting closer to Captain Jack's. And you can see they're working on the poles right now. For those who don't know, there's a camera here, but it's been out for quite some time. So they're repairing that, and you can see this gate is open, but this gate will be closed for tomorrow. And the main entrance is going to be all the way down that way. This whole setup over here is where things get a little bit interesting. We're pretty much over by Spicer Avenue. And over here, you'll see the real setup, how to get on the beach, and what they're going to do once you get inside. As you can see, the AC electric truck is, oh, they're stuck, man. That's, woo! Yeah. And that is one of the many, many concerns we have for tomorrow, because we are expected some kind of rain and wind today. And if that beach gets flooded, it's going to create for a very, very messy day on the beach. And I asked them, the campaign, like, hey, it's one of those things where, like, if it rains and it's kind of too muddy, you guys are going to postpone it to another date? And I never actually got an answer, which is, I'm assuming a no. But we did get lucky on Thursday. There really wasn't too much rain. So it's kind of one of those things that's like, I think we're going to be fine. If trucks like that can get through, just understand you're going to have to wear some shoes that are going to get a little bit muddy or a little bit dirty out there, because they'll be in the sand. It might be a little bit wet. But let's go over the entire setup we have right now, okay? So this right here is actually the queuing area. You can see how they have stanchions out. When you arrive, you have to get through that. Okay? Once you finally get through, use the bathrooms, and then kind of make your way up this way. You can see the entrance onto the beach. And there are two entrances to get on. One right here at Spencer, and one kind of up the block that way. That one's kind of more grand. So I'll share with that one because this one really isn't much. And this is what that looks like. It's just, once again, open space, steps down, and then you're there. So once you get to these steps, they want you to queue up in here. More than likely, you'll probably enter that way and start queuing around. Obviously, that could be different tomorrow. I'm just guessing at this moment. But there are bathrooms in here, porta potties. If you gotta go, you're good to go. And then once you're finally inside, they also have more porta potties kind of going this way. And here are those stanchions. Sort of what they had outside the convention center back in 2020. You'll go through here, and they'll fish you through until you can officially get in, which is down right over there. Oh, and I just found this out. This gentleman right over here is actually the first person in line. he has his chair right here, and there's other people that are actually already here. They actually went into the bathroom real quick, but they have their stuff here. So there's about 10 people in line already the day before. I actually just spoke to them for a little bit. One's from Tennessee and the other one is from Florida. They made their way all the way over here. They go to a lot of different rallies. And I'm like, why'd you guys come so early? Like, we want to be right up front. So you guys are already late to be the first ones in because they're here ready to go. Now, I've got a lot of questions about things you can and can't bring in, and so the city actually put together an entire list, but just to sum a few things up, no chairs, no selfie sticks, no alcohol beverages, things like that are not allowed back here. So I suggest that you actually look at the list. I'm gonna put it right here on the screen. Make sure you don't bring that stuff with you because you will either have to throw it away or get out of line. And when it comes to the line, that's actually another really good question, because if you want to be in that seated area or very close, you're going to want to be here way earlier than what they're saying. So these doors open at noon. But we already know that people are queuing up now, which means that come Saturday when they finally open it, there's probably going to be a line down the boardwalk just to get into the line to get into the rally. So let's just say that you want to go ahead and get up front. You're going to want to be here at like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning. Now, granted, I will say the beach is big. So if you're not there first thing, but you're there when the doors open, you'll probably get close enough. I just want you to remember that the event starts at 5. By then, this place is going to be packed. Your spot could be decently far away. And here's another close-up of the stanchions on the beach. And here's some of the bathrooms. And they already started closing underneath of the boardwalk. You can see this fence going this way and more fence heading down here. They're actually closing off this ramp too. Walking down the boardwalk towards Spencer, this is what you'll see. This will be the entire length between Schellenger and Spencer. So at least you have a good idea that if you don't have tickets and you plan to stand up here, you're not really going to see much of anything. Now, I know it's kind of hard to see what things look like from the ground. I do have the seal with me. It's raining on and off a little bit, so I quickly grabbed a few shots for you just to kind of see what it looks like, and you can see that while I'm talking right now. It doesn't really seem like much. You can see where the stage is. You can see some of the stands that they have. I don't really know how many people are actually going to show up, how many people are actually going to be able to sit down, but those are all really good questions that we really don't have answers for right now. So as you can tell, there's a lot of work that's already done, and there's more work that still needs to be done. We're told that they're going to be able to sell food inside and merchandise and things like that. I don't really see many vendors out there, so I'm assuming that they're going to show up tomorrow morning and set up. That way they have the entire day to go. Most likely it's going to be like food trucks and things like that. But once again, there's a lot of information they're not really putting out there. Now we're making our way back north up the boardwalk, and you can see Verizon. They actually installed this, I want to say 3 weeks ago. So it's kind of been here for a minute. And for those who remember last time we had an event in 2020, our reception was awful. So hopefully this fixes that. But right now we're going to continue straight to Schellenger Avenue. A lot of people are asking, is he speaking exactly at 5? And that's a good question. We know that there's going to be guest speakers, and then he'll speak. The one thing I want you to remember is that there really aren't, at least right now, many lights on the beach. So it doesn't seem like this is going to be a nighttime thing. So more than likely, he's going to want to speak as close to 6 o'clock as possible if he's going to speak for an hour, because, you know, it's going to start getting dark really quick once you get closer and closer to 7 o'clock. And this is just another shot walking down the boardwalk. Someone asked if they're going to put fences over at Morey's, and I don't think so. I don't really see any. I don't think it's really necessary, except for maybe one section over there, but that's about it. But yeah, we're just, once again, just walking north, which is about to rain any second. We do have cars like this that are now starting to show up all aboard the Trump train. It turns out that most of the merchandise being sold is being sold like here on Route 9. You can see this giant truck of stuff right out here. Looks like an old New Jersey Transit bus that they made into a store. One thing that is very different that I'm seeing now is that usually when you enter in Rio Grande, you head towards the boardwalk. especially with this event coming up. This weekend's also the Spring Car Show, and the city added a new sign. Let me show you what the sign says. Welcome to the Spring Car Show weekend. Traffic violations strictly enforced. Yeah, that's a brand new sign they put up. And I believe they had to do that because of what happened to the H2O event that happened here not too long ago, which you're not allowed to do any of that stuff down here ever. This is just a classic car show on the boardwalk. It's not going the entire length because of the rally, but it's going to be a decent amount of the boardwalk. So there you guys go. That is your tour. If you have any other questions, let me know in the comments section below. And I have to say this, a lot of people I know are probably going to say in the comment section, doesn't look like it's busy right now. It's not, it's morning. And because of that, and it's Friday, people are still at work. So as soon as they're done with work, they're going to make their way down here for this weekend because there's a lot of events happening down here. From the classic car show, we've got the lighthouse celebrating 150 years. We've got the spring festival that's coming out, a lot of great crafts you can buy from. So there's a lot of events. Plus you got the cheer. There's so much going on down here. So hopefully if you're not coming down for this event, you can still come down and enjoy the other amazing events that are taking place in the Wildwoods. Anyway, I want to thank you for joining me. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe, turn on notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. I'm Joey. I'll see you later. Bye.
Yeah.
Go get that shirt I picked up.